guys. Ask a liberal if there should be DEI in the NBA and watch them have a complete meltdown. They're always saying, DEI, DEI. The NBA is a perfect example of DEI. There's less than 1% of the NBA players are Asian. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Where's the equity for the Asian players? Okay, 2% of the NBA players, they're Hispanic. Where's the equity for the Hispanic players? 70% of the players are black. And listen, chat, I'm not against that at all. The best players in the world got their position because they are the best players in the world. It has nothing to do with DEI. They were given the opportunity because of the Civil Rights Act and the Equal Opportunity Act of the 60s and 70s. DEI is a woke movement trying to hijack those beautiful civil rights movements, okay? So you can sit here and say DEI, DEI, DEI. You can't even enforce DEI. You can't tell when it was created. There's no act, there's no legislation, there's no creator. You can't enforce it. It's a bunch of woke bull.
This man, who goes by Louis and in every video rocks a red MAGA cap, believes he found what he calls a cheat code. Ask a lib if the NBA should have DEI, then watch them roll themselves over into a ball of contradiction, racism, and hypocrisy. Thank me later. Okay.
Where's the equity for the Hispanic players? 70% of the players are black.
Dude, I could never imagine being this confidently wrong about something. Right away, I can tell you don't even know what DEI means. So let me break it down to you, buddy. DEI means just making sure people from all backgrounds get a fair shot. It's not about picking someone unqualified. It's about making sure the best people don't get overlooked just because they don't fit the old mold. So basically picking the best player for a given role regardless of their background. Now let's talk about the NBA. Because you seem to think the NBA doesn't have DEI. The league is over 70% black. Some of the biggest stars right now, Jokic, Wemby, Luka, came from outside of the U.S. There are women coaching, women refereeing, execs from all over the world. That's DEI in action. And guess what? If Asians or Hispanics were the best basketball players in the world, the league would be dominated by those demographics. You seem to think DEI means you're required to have an equal amount of each demographic on your team to make it fair. You could not be more confused about what DEI means. No one's asking for a participation trophy. DEI is about finding talent that used to get ignored. You think Giannis slipped through some diversity loophole? You think Jokic got MVP for equity reasons? No. These guys were discovered because the NBA widened its lens. So if DEI makes you nervous at your office, but you're fine watching a DEI-powered league drop 130 points on a Wednesday night, maybe take a breath. The NBA is proof that when you give everyone a shot, the whole system gets better. It's just common sense for those who actually have some sense.
Shout out to this creator. More takedowns? Look no further.
Imagine saying something like this and thinking that you said something super intelligent. First, the whole point of DEI is to only hire the best, most qualified person, which is a thing that MAGA people say that they're for. They believe that DEI enforces quotas for certain races or religions or orientations, but that's not what DEI does. It makes sure that qualified people are not prevented from working based on those designations, right? The NBA, by definition, only hires the most qualified candidates. If you can play the game at a high degree, you get to play. You have a shot. There are no diversity hires in the NBA. I could be wrong. Please tell me if I am. There are no personality hires in the NBA. And maybe outside of, and I'm talking about something that I don't know a lot about, only that I know through social osmosis, maybe LeBron James's son. Outside of that literal single example, is there anybody in the NBA that's not supposed to be there based on their talent? Imagine living in a world, well, we don't have to imagine it, but we live in a world where half of the people get to just ignore reality and create their own reality and then force us to live in it.
Hate the boat, but this guy is like the inverse Dave Portnoy, so we thank you for it.
I really hope that whatever podcast you got that from is bilking you for a subscription fee, because you obviously have not had this conversation with a liberal, because if you did, they would tell you that what you're doing is, or what you're trying to do, is to conflate the quotas that were with affirmative action back in the day with the current DEI practices, and that's not at all the same. Those quotas were actually made illegal, so we can't do that, right? So what you're asking me is, do I think DEI should be in the NBA? Buddy, DEI is in the NBA. See, prior to 1950, only white dudes could play in the NBA, and the game kind of sucked, right? And then in the 1950s, they integrated it so that we got more diversity in the NBA, and the game got way better. And now anybody over the age of 18 can go and try out. See, that's what DEI is about. It's about ensuring that everybody gets the opportunity. It does not guarantee the same results. It's just saying that regardless of your race or your gender or whatever, you get the same opportunities as everybody else. That's what it's here for. So do we think that the NBA should have DEI? I think that DEI is what's made the NBA great.
And now Dylan.
The NBA does have DEI. You dry bananas just don't know what that means. I'm genuinely convinced that you guys cannot read. And when you're given the opportunity to read, you refuse to. All because it doesn't support your narrative.
USC superfan would also weigh in.
Oh, I see what you did there. Aren't you clever? But we're not talking about race. Okay, DEI is not all about race. But I wonder why a bunch of white people would think that. Did you know the demographic that benefited the most from DEI was white women? White women. But no, you don't care to know that. Because you don't care. Because this is a gotcha. And of course, I mean, you know that the NBA is not just about the players, right? There's an entire staff behind each team, behind the association itself. They have dedicated leadership in their DEI program. Leslie Slayton Brown leads their DEI program. Their flagship program, the NBA Cares, is about DEI in the boardrooms, the communities, etc. They partner with LGBTQIA+ associations and alliances as well. The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion Award awards players $100,000 for their social justice programs and initiatives. They get to direct a $100,000 donation to a charity of their choice. So do I seem twisted up to you after this? Because once again, we understand what DEI programs are for. You guys just want to elevate the white tea race. So grin all you want. But independents like me and liberals, they understand DEI programs. Jesus.
The big problem for Lou here is that we covered this last year.
Do you know not a single white person was selected to be on the men's 2024 basketball team for the Olympics? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Only when it suits you.
You know what the saddest part about all this is? He will see these videos, or he won't, but let's say he will. And it won't process. There has been fact-checking. There has been correcting. There has been an attempt in good faith to right a wrong that came from him being so supremely confident in something that is in error. And he'll probably say, they just don't get it. And that is exactly the problem with echo chambers. Because for as many videos as there are and will be, probably after posting this, that will be checking him, there could be another 1,000, whether it is through AI comments, as we have seen, or from other MAGA uploaders who will say, you're right, they're wrong, and he'll still think it. The internet can be a great place and it could be a terrible place. Can do a lot of good, can help a lot of people, can also lead to deranged minds going down a rabbit hole and not allowing themselves to get out. And that is what I fear. Is we've gone over this now multiple times with this NBA line that they keep trying to pull. And there's a cause and effect here. The effect is they still don't learn. So I am asking, like, what is the best way? Some people have cut off their families. Some people have cut off their friends. Some people have cut off even having and talking about politics because they want to savor the relationship. But what is next? If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.